My 18 male, parents divorced at an early age. My stepdad was strict, but he was a good father. I'm the oldest child. Due to global issue, I didn't go to college this year. I skipped it, and rightfully so, as I have health issues. I'm taking classes online. I don't work and haven't for at least 2 weeks. I left my job at GameStop after they stopped giving me hours and weren't promoting me. My stepdad came in while I was finishing up coursework. He told me I had 2 weeks to get out, or he was forcing me out. I asked him why, and he said I have no direction, no goal. I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm 18. You can't seriously expect me to figure my life out. But he disagrees and claims yes, I should have a good idea of what I want. He says that a parent's job is done after I turn 18. All I do is play video games. I don't have girls over, no friends. We're in a global issue. I only go out to work. Screw off. I'm wasting away inside when I should be doing more. I told him I was looking for a better full-time job with a good career path and taking online classes. I even offered to pay rent. He said no. From his point of view, I'm wasting away, and he won't allow me to become a loser. Adversity brings innovation and strength, and life will be hard, but he knows I will look back and thank him. I don't know what else to do. I feel like he thinks I'm worthless. I spent a lot of time inside last year for good reasons. We are in a pandemic. I don't want to die. Am I being unreasonable? My dad says yes. Yes, I am. I don't know what to do. This isn't really just. My mom mostly goes along with what he says, but I don't know how I can convince her to convince him to let me stay. Or is my dad justified? Am I a loser for not having any plans past 18? Any other time in your life, those accusations would be more insulting. But you're 18. Who has done anything with their life by the time they're 18 or knows what they're going to do? Certainly nobody I know. Do you have any family nearby? Grandparents, aunts, uncles, bio dad? I go that route first. Also, is this kicking out thing an American thing? I'm trying to imagine it happening here in Italy, not even considering that an 18-year-old is already big enough to answer with his hands to this kind of bullying. A lot of states require a 30-day eviction notice, whether you're paying rent or not. Argue that if you can. Take those 30 days to find a place. Take this opportunity as a challenge and say screw you by succeeding when others think you can't. Later in life, they may take credit for your success, saying you should thank them for kicking you out. Just know that it was all you. He just kick-started it ahead of schedule. If I was your mom, he would no longer be your stepdad. No way I'd let someone treat my kids the way your stepdad is treating you. Your stepfather is an idiot. Who expects to have their life figured out at the age of 18? This is the time when you try new things and figure out what you enjoy doing. Of course, these things can be made simpler if you have supportive parents, but unfortunately, it's not looking good. Right now, plan to get out and cut those horrible parents off, and make sure you get all your legal documents too. He made the decision to marry your mother. You are part of that package. His just kicking you out at 18 is ridiculous. Kids are a lifelong commitment. If she chooses him over you, I would question her loyalty to you. If you end up on the street and neither one ever comes to you for anything, just remind them of what they did to you. I have had people refuse to help me a few times in life, and I laughed in their faces when they came to me when I was doing well. Good luck, OP. My fiance, female 22, and I, male 24, have been together for 3 years, but we've known each other going back to middle school. Our parents were friends, and we go back a long time, and she's the only girl I've ever been with. This whole situation happened a couple of days ago, within the friend group we've had since starting high school. So many of the people in our group went to school with us, but recently one of our closest friends, Casey, started dating a girl who none of us know too well, but we tried our best to welcome her, Liz, into the group. Casey knew Liz from the youth group he goes to, and we didn't know her until he introduced us to her some time back. Liz is fairly opinionated about many things, and often gives opinions and criticisms that others didn't ask for, and a few of our friends have privately stated that they aren't crazy about her. However, for Casey's sake, he's one of the core members. They try to put up with her, and she's never picked a bone with my fiance or me until recently at a dinner my parents hosted for our friend group. However, Liz made a comment after dinner that led to an argument, and it was about my sister Lauren, who had a part in our wedding. Long story short, Lauren dances in school, and she requested to dance to a song during the reception with choreography that she made just for us. A lot of us already knew about the performance, but when it came up and Liz asked about it, Lauren showed her the song and some past recitals on her phone. After she left, Liz commented to my mom. She asked if it was appropriate to have her post her stuff on Instagram, but when my mom asked her what she meant, she said that a lot of people might look at it as it's provocative and that they shouldn't let her post whatever she wants. I told her that my mom monitored the account and that she's simply dancing in school with other kids, but then she went into how her mom wouldn't let her dress like that and called her some names, which is when I lost it with her. I told her that we weren't asking for her opinion and that she should apologize for attacking my parents and calling my sister that. Casey didn't say anything when she continued to run her mouth, and my dad was getting fed up too. A few of my other friends also told her to stop too, but she just got so triggered, to the point where I told her to leave as Lauren came back and overheard some, and my dad agreed with me. However, after everyone left, my fiance tried to reach out to Casey to see if he wanted to talk, but he didn't respond that night, and we both figured he needed time. However, a few days later, after Casey informed fiance that he wouldn't be participating nor coming to the wedding anymore, as well as him avoiding our group chat and blocking my fiance on his socials, she's been really upset at me, and it's like she's done a 180. I know that she and Casey have been friends for many years, like many in our group have, but almost everyone in our friend group was on our side about how we handled Liz. However, she's upset that Casey pulled out and maybe one or two of her other friends who took his side, and she said she wanted me to apologize to him to fix things. Good for you for standing up for your sister. What a horrid woman you invited into your group. Now what, your fiance is doing extreme manipulation and an attempt to punish you? Please don't fall for it. It would be best to put the wedding on hold until she can act like a rational human being. Do not let her rug sweep. No one badmouths a sibling, especially if they're just a kid. The 180 seems a little suspicious to me. I would rethink the whole thing if I'm being honest. Maybe she's having intimacy with a guy, just throwing it out there. Or maybe they're just good friends. I mean, look at your own story, reread it. You never once said how much you love her, or how nice she is or anything, just that you've known her for X long. I know it sucks, but cut your losses. You deserve better than this girl. So, how long exactly has your ex-fiance been in love with Casey? I didn't want to say it outright, but it feels like there are more feelings there, and she couldn't bear not having the friendship access when he blocked her. That is what automatically came to mind. She's mad she was put in that situation, and instead of blaming the offender, she is blaming those who were offended. Real eye-opener. It sounds like you dodged a bullet, OP. It might be time to call off the wedding altogether and cut your losses. Why marry someone who takes the side of a chick insulting your little sister for simply dancing? She may have just saved you a miserable marriage and the expense of a divorce. I am 19 male. When I was around 9, I went to a summer camp where there was a counselor I didn't really have an opinion about. I remember she was strict, but the only annoying thing she did to me was poke me in the ribs when I was refusing to get in line. I said, "Don't poke me," but she did it again a few hours later when I wasn't getting in line. Finally, I just said the same thing, and she said, "Then get in line." That was it. I didn't even remember this until today, when I got a message on Instagram. It said, "Hey, maybe you don't remember me, but I was your camp counselor about 10 years ago. I remember one time I poked you and you asked me not to, and I did it again anyway, and I just wanted to apologize. I know that a single apology can't undo the lifelong damage that I did to you or your sense of boundaries, but I want you to know that I take full responsibility for it." At first I thought this was a joke, but then I looked at her profile, and it was certainly something. She has many mental health issues, but after realizing it wasn't a joke, I was kind of weirded out. So I messaged her back saying, "I'm sorry, but why are you still thinking about something like this after 10 years? I didn't even remember it until you sent this message. And weirdly, you were thinking so much about it that you looked up my name and reached out like this? It was 10 years ago, and it seriously wasn't a big deal. You need to get over it." A few minutes later, I got a 3-paragraph message from her saying that it was extremely rude of me to tell someone to get over something, and that I don't get to decide what is and isn't a big deal. So basically, she went from overly apologetic to dragging me for telling her to get over it. I blocked her, but I can't stop thinking about this. On the one hand, this is something that she should have let go of way before now. On the other, I feel like I was a bit direct with this unwell woman. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Clearly, she was bothered by something she did to you and felt bad about it. I'm sure she's not obsessing over it for hours a day or anything. A simple thank you, and it was no big deal, would have been fine. Your message was just hateful and not necessary. Not the idiot. Unfortunately, there are people out there who will do idiotic things and then make themselves out to be the victim when they try to reach out or apologize for the things they did. It's just a typical self-righteous indignation. This was a thing that clearly never bothered you, and it's weird she spent a decade thinking about it and went to the full extent of trying to find you, and her comment about you not getting to decide what's a big deal. Well, yes you do, since she was the one poking you. Everyone's the idiot here. Let me give you a piece of advice that will serve you well in your life. You are not required to respond to every message and email you get. Sure, this is weird. And once you went to this person's profile and saw that something was clearly off, you should have concluded that ignoring this message was the best course of action. But you didn't. Instead, you responded and invited crazy into your life. And now this crazy person might fixate on you and continue to contact you and harass you. Never invite drama into your life. If you don't want to engage with someone, don't. My wife gave birth to our first child in July of this year. She tried to breastfeed our son but couldn't handle the pain. She also suffered from postpartum depression, so I suggested we try formula. Our baby is growing healthy and happy, and my wife started to feel good again. She still feels down sometimes, but her medication has helped her a lot. My brother and his family visited us last week. They gave us gifts for the baby and asked how things were going for us. We were just chatting in the living room when our baby started crying. My wife hurried to the kitchen to prepare our son's bottle when sister-in-law followed her. She said something along the lines of, "Are you sure you want to feed your baby cow's milk?" My wife said yes and explained that she tried breastfeeding but it was too painful for her. Sister-in-law then went on to say that when she had her firstborn, she never complained of pain and that her great love for her child helped her overcome everything. I told her everyone's experience is unique. Still, she said that we are depriving our child of the best nutrients because we're feeding him cow's milk. This time, my wife already went to the nursery to feed our baby. My sister-in-law said she can't believe how some moms are so selfish by choosing to bottle feed to not destroy their figure. My wife is slim even after giving birth. I told her that's not the reason we chose to bottle feed. She stopped making comments because her daughter started to get fussy. She pulled a snack from her diaper bag, and what do you know? She handed her daughter Cheetos. I wanted to say something, but I stopped myself because I thought it was uncalled for. We talked for a few minutes when my wife joined us, holding our son to help him burp. Sister-in-law went on to say, "Oh, you poor thing. Did mommy give you cow's milk? I hope you don't end up malnourished." My wife didn't say anything, but I could see from her expression that she was hurt. I told my sister-in-law, "Can you stop being a hypocrite and give your daughter a healthier snack?" My brother got angry that I called his wife a hypocrite. We got into a verbal altercation, which ended in me kicking them out. Our parents are now angry at both of us for acting like teenagers. They wanted us to apologize to each other, but I refused. I said only if sister-in-law apologized to my wife first. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law is straight up stupid for multiple reasons, because it isn't cow's milk. It is baby formula that is made explicitly for babies, and not everyone can breastfeed. Fed is best. Your wife was attentive to your baby's needs, bonded with him while feeding him in a quiet room, and then burped him. Sounds like a loving mother regardless of the bottle versus breast. I would have said something too. It's good to defend your wife, especially against someone who won't stop saying ignorant things. Not the idiot. It sounds like a case of the can dish it out but can't take it. I get where your parents are coming from, but you're standing up for your family against a bully. You do what you have to do for your family, but don't let a mountain form from a molehill either. This sounds like something you can and should be able to move past. My brother is a young teen, and I'm a year older, female. It's always been really obvious to me that he's the favorite child. and my parents treat him differently. For example, his room is twice the size of mine. He gets money to go out with his friends and eat. Still, if I want to go out, I have to use the money I save for my birthday or Christmas, or when grandma visits. I get in trouble for things he doesn't get in trouble for. There are higher expectations on me. If my parents need help with something, it's always me they ask, not him. Stuff like that. I've been trying to explain to them that we get treated differently, and they don't agree. They think it's just in my head. I would give them examples like how my brother was always really grumpy and barely speaks to them. But if I'm in a bad mood and barely talk to them for one day, I get in trouble. But they said it's different and got annoyed when I tried to get them to explain why. My brother has been doing this thing lately where he gets annoyed about something. I think it's when he loses in a video game or his game freezes or something, but I'm not sure because it's always in his room. So he starts swearing and slamming his hand on his desk. Then he stomps around the house, slamming doors for like an hour. This happens maybe once a week. It scares my cat, and honestly it scares me too, but my parents ignore it. He did it yesterday while I was holding the cat, and my arms got shredded because the cat panicked. I asked my mom if she was going to talk to him about his outburst, and she said I should just ignore it, and he'll grow out of it. So today, I decided I'd test out what happens if I do the same thing as him. I waited until the cat was in the other end of the house so I didn't scare him, and I swore and thumped my hand on my desk. I didn't even get to do anything else, like slamming doors, because my mom got so angry right away and burst into my room and started yelling at me. When she took a breath, I said, "Okay, so now you've practiced with me. You can tell my brother off next time he does it, right?" And she got even madder. She said I need to grow up and stop focusing on my brother so much, and I should just focus on myself, because it's up to my parents to decide how to deal with our behavior, not me. So now I'm grounded for swearing once and thumping my hand on my desk once. But my brother does that and then slams doors and stumps around the house like once a week, and he has never been told to stop. And still my parents won't admit that they treat us differently. My dad even came in later to tell me off all over again for copying my brother just to prove a point, but wouldn't acknowledge I did make my point. He just kept saying I was just immature. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If your parents don't see the issue now, they probably never will. Sorry to say, but you probably won't, while he will probably get assistance for college, his first apartment, and perhaps a wedding. Consider now how you want your life to be. Seriously, start a game plan and make it happen. Think seriously about careers, college, and how much money you want to make. They may not be there for you, so you are all you got, kid. Be financially independent sooner rather than later. I hope you are happy and make a ton of money. Are you a girl? Is it literally they are better to the boy than you? Not the idiot, and I'm so sorry you go through this. One day you probably won't have much to do with them, and it will be their fault while their badly raised kid has to live with them forever. So please grow up and be super successful and give them no credit.